Hi guys, good evening and welcome back to my channel. Okay, today we'll be drafting a bottom up sheet. Okay, so in today's tutorial, we'll be using this material, okay, for the shirt, alright, and also grab your long roll and then your curved roll, your tape measure, and then your chalk as well. We'll be using this. So I have a tutorial on how to get out this print easily from your fabric. All right, some people struggle with removing this, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll drop the link in the descriptive box so that you check that out. Okay, so I'm going to quickly remove this and then come back. So I'm starting with my back panel first. I folded my fabric into two, and with the highest part of my circumference, which is the hip, okay, it's 40, and the chest is also 40, so I'm going to be marking that 40 divided by 4. Okay, so I have 10 inches then plus 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Okay, so I'm going to be marking the length of 29 inches, that is the original length, and then plus 3 inches for the overlap of the shoulder and also the hem. So just mark your 32 inches like that and transfer that 32 inches to the side. Okay, so that makes it easy to square it up. Okay, and also we are going to be transferring our 12 inches, okay, to all the sides, okay, because it's pretty much long and I have a short ruler. So I'm going to be transferring all my 12 inches to the sides, and I'm going to connect this in bits. Okay, so after connecting, I'm going to cut this out like that, and then we'll go to the front part of this. So I am folding my fabric into two again. Okay, and this time around I'm going to be cutting the length of 29 inches plus just 1 inches. Okay, that makes 30 inches. Okay, now I'm transferring my measurement to this side as well, so take note of that so that I'll be able to get a straight line, so that I'll be able to square it up. So now, because of my bottom overlapping in the front, I am going to mark the 12 inches, which is the original bust, which is 10 plus the 2 inches for the sewing allowance. And then after marking that, okay, I'm going to be adding the bottom overlapping. So I'm going to just do 2.75 inches for the bottom in the front. Okay, so I'm going to add my 2.75 inches to that, and then because I have a short rule, I'm going to mark this in the middle as well, and then I'll connect it. Okay, so I'm going to connect this, which after doing I'll cut it out. Okay, so I'm splitting the front into two. All right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is folding my bottom allowance that I left. Okay, and then I'm going to take this to my ironing board and iron this. I like to iron everything every step of the way, especially when drafting men's shirts, so that everything will come out really neat. Okay, so I've folded this in already, and as you can see, I'm annotating my center line and also creating the division for the bottom and the folding, which I have a video on. So I'm not going to go much into that folding yet. So If you want to see a detailed tutorial, check in the link in the descriptive box for that. Okay, so I've overlapped my front on the back. Okay, so I'm trying to align everything together, and also take note that I am aligning everything at the shoulder. So I'm going to come down by 1.75 inches because this shoulder is not quite sloped or slanted. So anytime you want to draft a men's shirt, you want to take note of how slant the shoulder of that person is before you create your shoulder slant. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this out first, but before that I should let you guys know that this is overlapping. Okay, so as you can see, the front is quite shorter than the back, and that is how it's supposed to be for men's shirt or men's top, whatever. So I'm going to bring out my folding or my bottom overlap allowance like so, and I'm going to cut the slope of the shoulder, okay, out. So guys, after this, just make sure that you lift your or you shift your top, okay, to meet the bottom part for the back panel. Okay, because we are going to now create our overlapping for the shoulder. Okay, so I am, in order to know how to do this, I am going to mark in, or I'm going to mark out from the front shoulder ½ inch, and I'm going to connect this with a straight line. Okay, so this is to enable you know where you put your edge. Okay, so I'm putting my edge on the line like so. Okay, so it's going to overlap each other by ½ inch. So the next thing is to just iron this out as I have done. All right, and just make sure your center line is not getting in the way of your drafting. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to mark the original shoulder measurement plus the sleeve. Okay, plus joining to the sleeve, that is ½ inch to the sleeve. Okay, then after that you just go ahead and mark your sleeve, your armhole depth, sorry. So I changed my chalk because the yellow chalk is not really showing on the fabric, so that's why I changed my chalk to white. So I'm just transferring my shoulder measurements also to where my armhole length ended. Okay, so I'm just going to connect this to a straight line like so, and then I am going to go ahead and create my armhole depth for the front. So I'm marking and dividing my armhole into two, and I'm going to come out by 3/4 inch. Okay, and also before connecting, you make sure that your corner here, okay, is out by, you're going to connect by 1 inch away from that corner. So I'm just connecting the 3 points together to my armhole depth and also back to the shoulder area. Okay, yes. So for the back, I'm going to connect this pretty much the same way, but I'm not going to come in. Okay, so I'm just connecting the back like that. So the next thing is to uh, so I'm perfecting my armhole right now. I'm perfecting this. Okay, and once that is done, okay, I am going to mark my vertical measurements. Okay, so from the shoulder to the chest is 10, and shoulder to the waist is 17 inches. And also remember, I said it's 29 for the top length, and the rest of it I am going to be using it as the allowance for folding the shirt. Okay, so now that we are done, I'm just going to connect these points. Okay, You can just leave it like that, but I'm going to connect it for tutorial purposes. Okay. So guys, after that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be marking quarter of my chest measurement, which is 10 inches, okay, plus the 2 inches. So mind you, we are drafting, or we are beginning our measurement from the center line, okay. So make sure you don't get confused with the lines. Make sure you place this on your center line and then you mark. So I'm marking my waist measurement, okay, plus 2 inches for the sewing or for the side allowance, okay. So I'm marking the same thing for the hip and also 2 inches for the allowance. Then I am going to be connecting these points together and also the allowances together as well. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel, please guys. Give this video a thumbs up before we continue. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and also leave your opinions down below. Give me suggestion of videos you want me to make tutorial on, and I'll be sure to make that for you guys. So I'm just going to be connecting my allowance, okay. I'm just slanting this like you normally see in shirts, okay. So it's not straight like um normal men's top. So I'm just slanting that corner out and I'm cutting that out, okay. Right. Now that we are done, okay, so I'm going to be continue with my neck. So I'm marking 2.5 inches in for the width, and also for the depth I am going to mark 4 inches for my depth, okay. Then I am going to square this up, and then I'm going to later I'm going to round this out, okay. So later I'm going to bring out the original neck measurement. This is not the correct one yet, and I'm curving the corner. So guys, can you see that? So curve that corner a bit, right. I'm going to begin by lifting my shoulder overlap for the back, and I'm going to cut that out, and when I get to that corner I am going to curve like I did, and I'm going to cut the rest, okay. So for the front too, you make sure you cut the front without it affecting your folding for the overlap of the bottom, okay. So watch how I am cutting this way, and then when I'm done I'll just continue and I'll follow the circle to bring out the front as well. Okay, so just let it meet with the back, okay, just like that. Cut it out. Okay, so this is not the final neckline. I'm going to measure this, okay, to see if it's the 17 inches that I want. Alright, I want it about 17 inches for the neckline. So this is just this is not up to, so I'm just going to join the shoulder first, okay, before I try out anything. So I'm just going to cut out my seam allowance like so. So make sure that they're all falling in place really well. Okay. Yes. So after making sure that make sure that they are lined, kind of tilt it like that. Okay, before you cut out your front. So now I'm going to be cutting out my front, um, like so. Okay, so just continue from here. Okay, like that. Right. So make sure that they are. matching each other really well. Alright, so the next thing is to just fold this, okay? So I'm just going to fold it like I should, okay, for the, and then I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to fold this, okay? So now after folding, now I'll cut this out because I folded this out really well, okay? So you're going to fold and leave the front extension like so, and then now I'm going to cut this out, okay, so that it doesn't look funny, okay? You need to get everything accurate. Alright, so that is it. Now I'm just going to notch. I'm going to notch this, okay? I'm just going to notch and notch. Alright, and also notch this one as well. And I'm going to be notching this one too. So I'll notch this, notch this, and notch this as well. Alright, yes. So after notching, the next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be dealing with the front first, okay? So this is my two front panels, okay? So guys, I'm going to iron this in. I'm going to iron this in the first layer, okay? So let me just quickly take you over to my iron. So I am speeding this up because I have the link of how to fold this in correctly in my descriptive box like I said earlier, so go ahead and check that. So guys, after folding in, okay, I'm just going to overlap this on each other, okay? So I'm going to be using my center knot as a guide to overlap this, all right? So you need to, like, if you check in that video that I said to check earlier, you will find where I've put in my center knot. So I did the same thing on this one. I've put in my center knot and I use that to overlap the right and then the left, okay? So I'm just going ahead to pin this down and then we'll continue. So I'm just going to start with a facing. Alright, so this is going to be the line. Pin the first facing down. Okay, so let's pin the corners down there. Make sure they are matching before you pin. So after pinning this, okay, so this right now here is the right side of my top, and this is the right side. So right sides facing each other like that. Okay, so you match and then you pin the shoulder, and then now you flip it over. So this is now the wrong side of my shirt. Okay, so just flip the shirt over. So the wrong pin is over. Now this, because it's the wrong side, okay, now you pick the wrong side of the shirt. Okay, so this is the wrong side, facing the wrong side. Okay, just match it like so. Okay, so when you match, make sure that you match the necklines. Make sure that they are facing. Then remove the pin that you've held using holding the first one down. Remove it and then match this well. Okay, then you remove this well. Okay, so now with the three of them, that is the middle one, the front panel in the middle. Now match this like that and then pin it down. Okay, so you pin this down, match this also like so. Okay, like that, match as well, and then pin it down. Alright, like that. Okay, so then I'm going to be sewing like halfway sewing by that ½ inch. Make sure that you hold this well. Okay, alright, so now this is it. Okay, so this sew the shoulder by ½ inch like that. Okay, so guys, after joining the shoulder, okay, I've joined the shoulders now. I'm going to flip this right to the back. Okay, so I might create a top stitch of the shoulder on the back. Okay, I'll create a top stitch on the back like that. Okay. After creating the top stitch, then I've already ironed in my yoke for the back, so I'm just going to flip it over to the back. So I'm going to flip this over to the back and then make sure that I sew this, okay, onto the back of that. Alright. Pins. So just quickly remove the pins, right? So after folding this in like that, alright, don't worry, I'm going to be showing you on a paper because this one is not really showing. I don't know why. So the next thing is to tackle our neckline. So I'm just going to open this. So you're going to be dealing with our neckline now. Okay. So just like that, make sure that they are all aligning. Now I'm going to measure out and see whether I have my 18 inches for the neck. So half of this should be at about 9 inches. Okay. So it is, remember it's half inches for this. So this is 7.5 inches, which means we are still not there. So I'll just mark, alright, and then I'll go ahead and measure this to make sure that I get my accurate neck measurement. Right, so I think I still need to mark some more. Right, so I am just going to mark more and more until I get the exact thing that I want. Okay, so I have what I want now, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut out. So before anything else, please check in the link below to check out the collar, how to cut and stitch it, and also the sleeve, how to cut and stitch it. So this is my collar right now, which I have a video on in the descriptive box. So I'm going to be holding this down, okay, and that is the overlap. I'm going to hold down with my stitch on both sides and join my collar. So after that, I am going to be attaching my already made sleeves, okay, which I have a video on, and how to make it with the cuff. Okay, so I'll hem the bottom part later, and then that is all for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Take care, and I'm going to be seeing you guys in my next video. Stay safe and have a blessed week. Bye bye.